Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Carolyn. I'm an empath and psychic, and today's video I'm going to be teaching you all about numerology when it comes to tarot. So the first card in tarot is the Fool card, and that is always number 0. And the reason for that is because 0 is no number. It has no numerology synced with it. And so the Fool has ultimate potential and ultimate possibilities. It can do whatever it wants. It can be whatever it wants. Nothing has started and nothing has ended. It literally represents limbo and being in a state of potential and possibility. And so 0 represents anything because it's nothing and everything at the same time. The Fool embodies the energy perfectly because it's all about choice. The Fool has a choice on what future it creates. And that's what 0 is about. It's about creation. It's about really having ultimate possibilities and potential for the things that you get to decide. And that's why it's so fitting with the Fool card, because it's curiosity. It's stumbling into things. There's no planning or preparation for it. You're really just taking a risk and you're seeing where it takes you. And then we have number 1. And number 1 is all about beginnings. It's about opportunities. It's about an initiation and a journey. Really taking that first step, taking that first action towards something. And it's also about independence and individuality. Now I'm going to talk about number 10 later on. In normal numerology, number 10 always reduces to number 1, but in tarot it is different, so I'll talk about that later. But with number 1, it's really about starting things and taking a course of action in your life. And so in tarot, we have it as the Magician card, and we also have it as the Aces for all of the suits. And so if you look at the Aces, it's about starting things. It's about inspiration and ideas and creativity. And then if we look at the Magician, he has all the resources he needs. He has everything in his power to take a course of action to do things. And he's very independent. He's self-reliant. And so that's the energy with number 1. So know that when number 1 comes up in tarot, if there is something that is going to begin, that there is independence coming into your life, and that there is an ability to manifest and have the resources you need in order to start something. Number 1 also represents a shift in the energy, leading to more confidence, more independence, and more self-reliance. Really having the ability to look within oneself and have everything you need, and have the ability to be quick and witty and come up with new solutions. Number 1 is all about action, and it's about a game plan. It's about really having things you need in place to start something. So moving on to number 2. Number 2 is all about partnership, communication, and choices. And it's a number about polarity. And so it really shows the difference of things and the balance with the yin and yang of things. And this is why for the major arcana, we have it as the High Priestess card, the Justice card, and the Judgment card. It's really representing this energy of working with others, working as a team, and finding harmony and balance in yourself so you can communicate and express yourself authentically. So with the High Priestess, we see this duality represented because she is the conscious and the subconscious mind. She represents intuition and the divine feminine energy. The High Priestess is all about looking at things objectively and trusting your intuition, trusting your emotions, and having that balance where they are not overriding you. Really being able to be in control while working with the other parts of yourselves. And then with Justice, this is about choice and decisions and actually maintaining a stance on things. We see the duality between the good and the bad, the right and the wrong. And so when you see number 2, it is about really communicating things, looking at everything objectively, and being able to communicate what is best for you. And so with the Justice card, it's about what is right for the person, what is the right course of action to get justice. And then with the Judgment card, again, this is a card that really represents a reckoning, getting the things you deserve. And so there's that duality and that communication between you and the universe, you and karma balance. And so you're gonna get what you put out. It's about a flow of energy and being in sync, being in flow with things. It's really about what is judgment. What are you going to have to face based on the choices that you make each day? And as we see in the minor cards, it's about really being decisive and taking action, making a direction in your life, and really being focused on what you have to do and what work you have to do to make things happen. And number 3 is all about curiosity. It's about discovery, and it's really about getting answers in your life. And that's why for the major arcana, it's the Empress, the Hanged Man, and the World card. These are all cards that represent getting answers, getting clarity, clarity and actually being able to do something with that information. It's all about seeing things in a new perspective and growing and evolving as a person. In order to grow and evolve, we need answers. We need to get insight on things. And so number 3 really brings in that creativity so that we ask questions, but it also brings in the guidance that we get the answers. We go out seeking things on a mission with number 3. It's not about just being curious and settling. It's about being curious and reaching success because you keep searching for that answer no matter how long it takes. Now, number 3, while it can be very curious, it can also be very impulsive. And so this is why with 3, sometimes things are not always thought through. It's very impulsive with the decisions it makes. But it's good because as a result, when we make those impulsive decisions that we see with the cards, they can lead to personal growth. They can lead to healing. And we see that with the Hanged Man. Sometimes our impulses get us into sticky situations. Sometimes we get stuck and we don't know what to do. And we have to be very creative as we think of new solutions. And we can also see it with the Minor Arcana. If we take the 3 of Swords, this is something that there could be a rash decision that leads to heartache, that leads to your heart being broken and feeling like you're losing a part of you and feeling like you're grieving. But in a way that brings growth, that brings healing, because ultimately that heartbreak will lead to a cycle of healing. It will lead to you mending your heart. And then if we look at the 3 of Wands, that's an impulsive decision to start a new journey, to go somewhere new, to try something new, to really go on an adventure. And in a sense, you find a sense of growth as you mature and as you grow and adapt to the new situations you find yourself in. This is something we can see with 3 of Coins. If you don't have an answer, you're going to find people who have answers, who bring solutions to you. You're going to seek mentors and you're going to work with others. You're going to work as a team to find an answer so that you can cure your curiosity. And moving on to number 4. 4 is a number which represents stability and structure, security and control. And that's why for the Major Arcana, we have it as the Emperor and the Death card, because even though there's change in our life, it's about the control you have with that change, and it's about you taking responsibility and accountability for your life. And if we look at the Minor cards, it's all about a shift in energy where you are doing things deliberately, where you are changing your patterns of behavior. With the 4 of Wands, that is about reaching alignment with your life and having a celebration for the things you work towards. You have that stability and that foundation. It's solid now. Now, number 5 is typically a number of change, and sometimes it's conflict. As we can see with the Minor Arcana, it represents a lot of conflict and sometimes chaos. And so it's really an energy where there are things outside of our control, things happening around us. And so the interesting thing when we look at the Major Arcana, when it comes to the number 5, we see the differences with them, because the Hierophant is number 5, who is resistant to change. Now 5 brings in an energy of change. So the Hierophant is typically indicated when there is something that you are going to have to find guidance for, when there is either change going on in your life that you need to seek guidance for, or sometimes it is representing that you are meant to challenge the Hierophant in your life, in your world. You are meant to challenge things and really have resistance with things in order to see why you believe the things you do and why others believe the things they do. And so number 5, when it comes to the Hierophant, is representing the energy surrounding it, even though the person itself is very rigid and set in their ways. And then when we look at Temperance, this is about balance with change. So instead of running and being afraid of change and the chaos that the number 5 can bring sometimes, it's about embracing it and working together. With Temperance, it's about mixing things, finding balance. And so with number 5, when you have change in your life, it can be a beautiful thing, and it can be something you can work with. There's only issues if you try to resist it, if you try and run from it, because ultimately it will catch up with you. But the Minor cards represent the numerology more because it represents change and a time where things are evolving with your life. You're in the middle of a cycle, so things are going up and they're going down, and it's ever changing, and that's really what the number 5 embodies. Number 5 represents a shift in energy, and so it doesn't mean it's necessarily good or bad, it's just change. Change in itself isn't anything bad, but us as humans can fear it, so when we see it in a reading, sometimes we get scared, but really when we look at the Minors, it's just something changing. It's losing an opportunity sometimes, but sometimes it's gaining something else in return. But the shift and the swap of it makes us scared because it's not what we expected. So with number 5 in the Minors, it's typically representing something unexpected, things not always going to plan, but it doesn't mean that something else isn't coming in its place. Because if we look at the 5 of Cups, it shows 3 cups that are spilt, but 2 are still behind you standing upright. And then if we look at the Five of Wands, it can represent a conflict between us and others or within ourselves, and it's an internal conflict. But sometimes that conflict is needed in order to bring growth, in order to find an understanding where maybe you're outgrowing this person, or maybe you really have to challenge what you believe in. And so with number 5, it's really about learning things, being open to them, and being adaptable. And with number 6, you have the Lovers and you have the Devil card. And so with 6, it's really tethered to the heart chakra. It's really an energy of love and compassion and appreciation for things. And that's why with the Lovers and the Devil card, and even with the minor cards with number 6, it's about kind of tethered to other people and being emotionally attached to things and the outcome. And so it's about finding your balance so that you aren't too dependent on things. When the number 6 comes up in your tarot readings, it typically indicates some reliance on other people and really being intertwined with others. And so with the Devil, if you're too dependent on it, that's where you get the manipulation and the negativity. But with the Lovers card, it's about balance and having harmony while working with others, while trusting others. And so it's really a number indicating emotional vulnerability, just like with the Six of Cups. That's reflecting on the past and memories and having a lot of fondness for the past. And so moving on to number 7. Number 7 is a very spiritual number. It's a number of introspection and really self-reflection and evolution of you on your spiritual path. And that's why in the major arcana, it's the Chariot and it's the Tower card. Both of these are major shifts and transformation in your life. The Chariot is moving forward, having that progression of things, really learning from your experiences and not being held back. And the Tower is a big breakthrough, a wake-up call. You're being woken up by whatever is happening around you, and it's a very dramatic change. It's a shift in your energy where you are being woken up. You're really having a lot of breakthroughs. And so it's really a number where you are getting information, you are getting insight into things, you're getting a lot of clarity, and you're really having a clear mind to think about things. When number 7 appears in your tarot reading, it's really a message saying that you are leveling up, that things are shifting, and you are the one in control, and you are having a lot of introspection and healing and growth as a person. Because 7 is really a number that indicates a time of change, because you are not hiding from your situations anymore. You are growing up and you are maturing, where you are taking the good and the bad out of life and you are moving forward. You're not being held back. It's a time where there's no more stagnant energy. Number 7 means that there is a change where you are moving forward. Number 8 is also related to the infinity symbol because it represents abundance and it represents a lot of possibilities. And so with number 8 in tarot, this is represented by the Strength card and also by the Star card. Now both of these cards require a lot of inner growth and healing. And so if you rely on the previous energy 7, that's where you have the wake-up call. That is where you have the introspection. Number 8 is about doing stuff with it because you have the potential to do things now. Now you're taking action. And so 8 in tarot is really about taking action on things where you had the wake-up call. Now you're doing something about it. You're not sitting around anymore. It's really a number which represents personal development. And with the Strength card, that's about having inner strength and resilience to break free. And with the Star card, that's about wishing for things and getting things, taking action to make your hopes and wishes come true. You're not just waiting for things, you're believing in them and you're going out and you're getting it. Now number 9 in tarot represents one last thing. So that's one last milestone, one last hurdle, one thing to overcome. But it represents kind of the finale of things, tying things up. And with the major arcana, this is represented with the Hermit card and the Moon card. And both of these cards represent an energy where you are being insightful, where you are really thinking about things, you're processing a lot of information. And both of these energies can allow us to be humanitarians. They can really allow us to look deep within ourselves and see how we need to heal ourselves and how we can also heal others. Because the Hermit card is really about sitting, being meditative and sitting with yourself and really processing information, healing yourself, and really being at one and finding peace and serenity within yourself and really completing any cycles by letting go of external issues and conflicts and anything that's weighing you down and affecting you. And then when we look at the Moon card, this is about your subconscious. And so your subconscious has the ability to heal you too. especially if you're going to focus on shadow work. And so the thing about our subconscious, when we look into its energy with this moon card, it's really about peace and serenity, and it's representing the moon, which is actual cycles. The moon has 28 days and it always completes the same cycle. It's something that you can rely on. And so it's kind of like the magic within ourselves, the way we can learn and study ourselves. And so that's what this 9 number represents. And it's an energy where things are ending, where there's completion and there's understanding. Both of these cards bring insight and understanding to yourself, and in turn you can share that understanding and that knowledge with others. And with the minor arcana, it really represents some sort of closure, like one last thing you're getting. And now, like I said earlier, I'm going to talk about number 10, because 10 in tarot is something that really doesn't exist in typical numerology. Typically it's either 1 or 0. And so with number 10 in tarot, it is always about, number 1, it relates to that energy, but it kind of acts as the bridge and the gap between 9 and 1, because that is where the cycle repeats. And so 10 is not only finales like how it was with number 9, but it's also a beginning. So 10 in tarot is an ending and a new beginning all in one, where you are having something happen but also starting something new at the same time. And that's why for the major arcana we have the Wheel of Fortune and we have the Sun card, because both of these bring insight, they bring clarity, they bring that new energy of the one, but it's also a time where you are letting go of things from the past with that 9 energy. And so with number 10, when we look at the minors, typically it's wrapping things up. There's almost like a storybook ending. And now this isn't always a happy ending, but it's still tied up better than with 9, because 9 in tarot represents the thing that you were trying to overcome. Whereas number 10, it shows the completion of the chapter. It has the numbers 1 and 0, where now you have the potential to start something new, but you still have to make that choice. There's still a new direction you have to decide of. And we really see that in the minors, where there is more limbo going on, where it's more up in the air of how this is going to continue. So I hope that this really helps you guys out if you wanted to understand the numerology behind tarot a little bit more. Let me know down in the YouTube comments below if you have any other questions, anything you want me to go more in depth on. I would love to help you guys out. If you guys haven't already, please hit subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post other educational videos like this, but I also post tarot readings. I do Pick-a-Pile readings, zodiac readings, and collective messages. And I also do unboxings of different tarot decks. And I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I'm sending you all so much love and light. Have a good one. Bye.